What's going on, everybody? It is Kerry Digsby.
And your man Adrian Fiddle, aka
A-Money.
A-Money.
And it's your girl Melissa,
AKA
People in the Dress. And today we are being joined by our esteemed guest.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Man, really needs an introduction because I'm going to tell you, he's doing some things that's really helping us as a community, and I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
We all appreciate that.
Can we get a drum roll?
And now straight from Mother. Our man, our brother, the man who's teaching us the better way of health, Mr. Morathi, Howie. What's going on, bro?
Peace, peace. What's going on, Charlotte? How y'all doing, man?
All right.
Man, it is good to have him here. Let me tell you something, man. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. What's going on, people? Thank you for joining us at the round table, following us. My wife is a huge fan of this brother right here. If I could tell you the number of times she was telling me, when are y'all going to have Morathi on the show? When are y'all going to, every time we had a show, is it time for Morathi to come on? I'm like, not yet, baby. We got a schedule. We're trying to make sure we get everybody in. Plus, we want to time it because this brother got a lot of things going on. And boom, you're on. She's happy. She's watching. So thank you, bro, for joining us.
No doubt, man. Yeah, no doubt, man. Yeah, your wife, man, is definitely a queen upon queens, man. So,
thank you, man.
Hey, you selected a great one, a wonderful one. She selected you.
Yeah, I just have to be in the right place at the right time. And booyah! I got lucky. 22 years, I'm happy and blessed. What's going on, Crystal Cox? Thank you for joining us at the round table. Oh man, yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to say it, guys. Hold on, Miss Pratina Bryson Ingram. Thank you, P, for joining us. That's our sister. She said she would. She said she would. Sis, we miss you. We miss you. Hey, hey, lovely people. Thank you for joining us tonight at the round table. Yo, this is gonna be entertaining, man, and informative.
Yes.
It will be.
It's incredible.
I had a behind the scenes look, or well, a preview on some of the information that this gentleman will be sharing today. And let me tell you, it is some thought-provoking information. Y'all are going to enjoy some of the information that he brings forth today.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, bro, you've got to go ahead and share with everyone because, I mean, they're starting to pop on right now, everything. Hey, what's going on? Damian Carter, thank you for joining us at the round table. Yo, what's going on? Miss Socialite, how are you?
Hey, sis.
Miss Socialite.
Miss Socialite. So, brother, you got to talk to us about this journey. Let's talk about you, man. Share with the world who is Morathi Howie. What's going on, Mr. Vegan Love Culture?
Well, first off, man, I would like to thank you guys for bringing me onto the show. I'm very, very appreciative. I have a lot of respect for what you do and what you bring to the table. I was born Thomas Howie, actually.
Okay.
October 22nd, 1977. My dad named me after his father, and my mom named me after my grandfather. So it was Thomas Nicholas Howie.
Okay.
So I'm from Concord, North Carolina, and I graduated from Northwest Cabarrus High School, and then I went off to North Carolina Central University. I would like to say probably before I went off to North Carolina Central University, I had an older cousin by the name of Jason Stowe. He's my first cousin, and he went off to he was a good basketball player in high school, and he went off to Asheville. He got a scholarship at Asheville and then ended up going to John C. Smith. When he went to John C. Smith, he then came into his own identity. So he was like a cousin that I looked up to. So when I would go for the summertime, he would, talk about the roots, Grand Poobah. I mean, he introduced me to everything, and it was during the time period where he was such a big role model to so many people in our communities. I was like, yeah, that's my big cousin. So whatever he would bring to me, I would take on to it. So it was like, yo, you should eat pork, you should do this, and I took on to that as it went on. So by the time I was going to my senior year in high school, I ended up going to North Carolina Central University, and my sister Latisse Howie, that y'all know very well.
And Latisse is on our Instagram. Shout out to Latisse.
Hey, Latisse, what's going on, sis?
Yeah. My sister played a big role in me going to North Carolina Central University. My sister, she's like my best friend, as far as how we interact with each other on a daily basis. So when she was cheering at North Carolina Central University at 14, I knew I was going to go to North Carolina Central. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So when I ended up going to North Carolina Central University, I had probably 1 year of a normal freshman life. You know what I mean? Like it was like, okay, go out to the club, do this, do that, do this, that. But then it was like, after that, knowledge itself hit me. So I was 18, 19. So by the time I hit 20, it was like, okay, the Matrix, take the red pill or the blue pill. Like, which pill are you going to take? Yes. And I had a good friend of mine, Ahmad Yarborough, that was like, yo, we was going to Chicken Wednesdays at North Carolina Central University, where they have a DJ and chicken on every line. And he was like, yo, man, we walking up to the cab. He's like, yo, man, I don't eat meat. I'm like, what do you mean you don't eat meat? Yeah. He was like, man, I'm a vegetarian, man. I don't eat that chicken and stuff. I was like, are you serious? He was like, yeah, man. And started breaking things down to me and stuff. So as we going there, I'm like, well, I see what you're saying, but I'm still getting my chicken. I'm going to the line to get my chicken. We can talk about this or whatever, but I'm going to get my chicken. So as we went through the line, he got whatever he got, his pasta, fries, whatever. Right. He was a man of his word, and I got my chicken, So we sat down and we talked, and he was breaking things down to me, and it, one thing about truth is it's verifiable. Right. You know what I mean? If the spirit speaks to you about truth, it's like, okay, you can't even deny it, regardless of how whatever you try to block out is there. Right. So some of the things that he was breaking down to me, it made me go back to my dorm after it was over with and study on it and read up on it. So I'm walking back and forth in my dorm. I'm like, yeah, okay, you said this, you saying that. Okay, well, let me look into it. So I look into it more deeply. And I'm like, man, okay, a lot of this makes sense. So I came up on an article where it said that red meat could cause cancer back then. Right. So 21 years later, they're saying that meat is causing cancer. So what happened was I took heed to where I was at that point in time that made me go into my whole vegan journey and give up animals and give up, the things that can cause harm to my body. And I give thanks and praises for it. And that's what led me into this journey.
Wow. That's why it's important to know who's in your circle.
Yeah. So he dropped knowledge on you, and now
21 years later. Yeah.
Who? So Morathi, if you don't mind me asking, how was the transition from going from meat to vegan difficult at all?
Yeah, it's difficult, especially whenever I always tell most people, especially in our communities, that we were raised from the root into the tutor in most areas. Right. So I had chitlins one time, but every other part of the animal I ate. I mean, I didn't eat deer and stuff like that, but saying, okay, you're going to give up animals to be able to go into a more healthier lifestyle. It's almost like you're making a decision. So what happened was throughout my transition, okay, I would give up pork, right? I would give it up, right? Then I go back home, and then I got a Wendy's Bacon Classic, and I eat that. And then that joint jam up my whole system. Right. So then as the time went on, I'm like, okay, my body is rejecting these things. You know what I'm saying? So as my body was rejecting it, it was like, okay, all right, that means that I need to give it up. And that's how it happened. So it was more of like, okay, well, all right, yeah, it could be hard, but my body is telling me something, and I'm paying attention to my body. So that's how it ended up going, and the transition goes from there.
Okay.
I spoke to someone that went vegan, and after they gained knowledge, they stated the same thing. Their body was rejecting the food. And he took a step further to even say that our mind is so powerful that, you can't unlearn when you had learned the truth. And he said he feels that because his mind was given that knowledge, his body, organs, everything took that on. So when he went to try to take it in, His body was like, no, like, no.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, here you go, y'all.
Every episode, she drop a little nut. Now, one more time. Hit me one more time. You can't unlearn.
You can't unlearn the truth. You can't unlearn knowledge. Do you understand? Whatever you know, you know. So our mind controls everything that we have, our whole body, our whole function. So once you learn that, like how he was, just giving fact upon fact, how can you tell your rest of your body, okay, that was separate? No, your body's like, okay, no, we can't take that. So I believe it. And I believe that that rejection period is what truly makes you cross over where you're like, I don't have a choice.
Good point. Good points.
Man, I gotta be honest with you. Yeah, I remember back in the day with that pork and stuff like that. I'm surprised my brother from another mother chimed out. But it is.
I got you. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it is something in which you really have to, once you educate yourself, and then just, it's a progression. It's not. I think you shared it with me the last time. You're like, bro, it don't happen overnight. You gotta take, go turkey. You gonna have 4 sweats. Oh my God, they take time.
I need a burger.
It's like, and I love how he educates, because I've watched him. He educates people about it, and it's not like hit you in the face about it. It's just like, let's talk about it. So this is your opportunity, brother, to talk to the masses and share with them, the transition and how, if you guys don't see it, man, he in the gym, man. He going hard, but it's because of his lifestyle. So definitely talk on that, man. I mean, that's amazing.
So take us through a routine day. What do you do when you can do you? When you can do Morathi, what is it that you do from the time you wake up?
When I wake up to my 2 boys. I'm a single father, so I got to get them up and get them ready for school. And as I get them ready for school, and get them off to school, then my day starts. So depending on how my body feels, I'm getting them up at 6:15. They gotta be at school by 7:20. Either I'm gonna come back and rest for another hour, or I'm gonna get straight up and I'm gonna go ahead and start the gym. But before I do that, when I get up, I start off with superfoods that I bring into America that comes from Africa.
Okay.
And those 2 powerful superfoods is moringa. Well, it's a couple of them. Moringa, which fights over 300 diseases in the body. It alkalines the system out. And baobab, which is one of the highest concentrated forms of vitamin C that you can get for your body. Magnesium, potassium, and calcium. So I start those off in my system because I'm getting my superfood veggie, which is a moringa, that's like times 10 veggies, and then my superfood baobab, which is like times 10 fruit. I get that in my system to start my system out the correct way. It ain't never TMI, but because of my system, I get up to one of the first things I do is have a good number 2. It's like it's mandatory, So that what cleanse my system. I'll get my system started, and then I'll get my day started. So then I'll hit the gym. For about 45 minutes, hour and 30 minutes. That's as far as I go. And I make sure that I get a good sweat in, because your skin is one of your largest organs. So if you're not pushing those toxins out of your skin, where are they going? It's either going to come out your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your nose, your buttocks, or your sexual organs. Those are the ways that come out in your skin. So I make sure that I hit the gym, I jog real hard, and then I hit the Stairmaster to get the skin to clean it out. And then after I do that, I get my day started. And to be honest with you, when I start my day off, I always roll with the spirit. And spirit can lead you anywhere. But if your spirit is in the correct place, it's going to always lead you in a positive direction. So I check whatever orders that I have coming in on my website for people that's ordering moringa, baobab, soursop, butterfly PT, and other things that we'll speak about. I'll check those. I'll get those in order. I'll go and send those off, and then I go off and I start doing what the Creator told me to do to the masses, and that is going and minister the plant-based lifestyle and speak to people about it, not pushing it down their throat, but you know, letting people know about moringa, letting people know about baobab, letting people know about what it means to go back into the earth. Our community is suffering because we have detached ourselves away from the earth.
True.
And if there's anybody in the whole world that is from the earth, it's Black people.
Right.
Our skin matches that soil. Okay. In the Bible it says that we were made from the dust of the soil. So you have 112 trace minerals in the earth. You have those same 112 trace minerals in your body. If you're not going back into the earth for those minerals, how are you replenishing your body on a daily basis?
Right.
And what our grandmothers and our great grandmothers taught us and stuff like that, we have detached ourselves away from. And they always told us to go back into the earth. You know, our grandmothers, all of us can think about whenever we had to go pick poke cat salad, pluck peas, shuck corn. You know, that's what they were teaching us, something that we were supposed to keep going, but we kind of detached ourselves away from it. Subsequently, when we did that, the diseases that they didn't have, that they didn't suffer from, we are now suffering from those diseases.
Right.
So, going back to what you said when you said what's my daily routine, that's my daily routine. I move by the spirit, how spirit moves me. And I move based on the fact that I'm protected on a daily basis, and I go out there and I minister this lifestyle, and whatever comes to me, it comes to me. Knowing that I'm building a foundation, I'm building a legacy for my boys to carry on, and building up vegan love culture.
That was going to be my next question. Are your sons vegan?
Yes, they are. I will say this. My boys, when they go down to their mother, which is down in Texas, or sometimes even with my mom or so, my boys will have fish every once in a while. Do I push? Do I make it so strenuous on them the same way it is with me? No, I don't. And it's for a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? My boys are, you know, if they decide to, if they say, okay, well, mom or Nana, I want fish, I don't say, no, you can't have it, X, Y, Z. I don't do that. My boys have a lot to grow into, you know what I mean? And I understand because I've been there before. But 98% of their lifestyle is vegan or plant-based, if you want to call it that.
Right.
You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I particularly, if you follow me, I don't push this vegan lifestyle on anybody. I tell people this is what I do.
Right.
In our community, what's going on in our community is that we are eating so much dead animals and things of that nature to the point where we have forgotten what plants do for our system. And because we have forgotten what plants do for our system, it is, our bodies are deteriorating on us. You get where I'm coming from?
Right.
And so as long as my boys understand that, okay, this is how dad built himself up. Whenever dad talks to you, whenever I speak to you, yeah, if you eat that red meat, if you eat that, I'm gonna show my boys a pic of a black man or a black woman scared straight, diabetes. This is what happens when you eat this. Your leg will get cut off, you know, your arm can get cut off. These are the things that happen to you. And so I need you to stick to this lifestyle as much as you can possible. Your dad is a vegan. Whenever you're around me, straight vegan. But if you go to Nana might say, okay, well, do y'all want fish? I'm not going to tell my mom, hey, yeah, no, it's okay. You know what I'm saying?
So you're still giving them a choice to choose and to grow into their own kind of function of that lifestyle.
Absolutely. Long as they're not indulging in pork, red meat, chicken, and stuff like that, fish is okay for them right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put that type of stipulation on them. They're too young for that.
I feel like I'm too young for that.
Our people are chiming in about it. They're chiming in. They're definitely appreciating and hinging on every word that you're saying.
Morathi, your sister says she's proud of you.
Yeah.
Thanks, big sis.
So we got Regina just mentioned each year I give up meat for Lent 40-40 with the intention of continuing the path. However, I find myself eating more carbs and alternative options. She notes, or questions rather, how do you recommend a safe and healthy transition? Before we get to that question, okay. So Miss Lady O says, hello.
Peace.
Yeah. Man, they chiming in now, man. This is crazy. Of course, they're saying, oh, this socialite says the Black community has a very hard time understanding the vegan, vegetarian lifestyle. She's a vegetarian. Didn't know that. Thank you, sis. She says she's been that way for about 5 years, and many Blacks look at me crazy because I don't eat meat. It's really unfortunate because they don't understand that eating animal has a negative impact on their health. So another question has popped up. So before we get to the other question, I want you to answer that one in regards to what Patina just asked about a transition.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I can tell Patina the best way possible is that there are certain vegetables and fruits that we can put in our system on a daily basis to be able to give our bodies what they need. I will speak for an example, an avocado. Just an avocado in general. An avocado gives the body so many nutrients that we don't understand. The avocado, when you look at the avocado, is shaped like a female who's had a baby. It takes 9 months to be able to develop a pure avocado. The same way it takes 9 months to develop a baby. So putting just an avocado in your system on a daily basis can give your body the certain nutrients that you need. When you speak about a transition, the problem that we're running into is that we have been eating a certain lifestyle for so long that our minds and our bodies are used to eating meat. So people are like, well, where you get your protein from? Where you get this from? Where you get that from? Every plant in the earth gives you protein. Actually, matter of fact, tell me when the last time you heard of somebody that's protein deficient.
Never.
Have you ever seen somebody in the hospital with protein deficiency?
No.
It doesn't exist. But someone is, because you've been fed this through media, and because your mind is a certain way and your body feels a certain way, you feel like, okay, well, I'm lacking this, I'm lacking that. No, you're not. First of all, your stomach is is no bigger than your fist. But we have been eating a certain way for so long, we got 3-4 fists that make a stomach.
Whoa.
So when you speak about a transition, you're thinking about, okay, well, what can I do to substitute all this meat and other stuff that I know that's not how it's going to be. Our bodies were made up to eat a certain amount of food just because you eat to live, you don't live to eat.
One more time.
Say that again.
One more time.
You know where I'm coming from?
Say that one more time.
You eat to live, you don't live to eat.
Right.
So we have to get over this thing of, I'm not eating enough, I'm not getting enough. No, it's your body. You have to train yourself and train your mind and your body to be like, okay, I am getting enough. That's the reason why I'm pointing out to the sister Patina that your transition is very simple. It's very simple. If you go into any farmer's market, you go anywhere, you can get some peas, some greens, some cucumbers, some onions. Just like what grandma used to do. Listen, how many times did our grandma used to, in our communities, they used to have beans, cabbage, and cornbread.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time. We have forgotten that way. And not only have we forgotten that way, we have eaten ourselves to a point where that's not satisfiable for us anymore. You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So the transition is really more easy than what you think. This is something we have never, the African ancestry has always been majority plant-based. We may have had animals every once in a while, but that animal would last us for 2 to 3 months. We wasn't lined up eating Church's chicken every day, KFC. But we wasn't lined up doing that.
Yeah.
We had plenty of sun, we had plenty of land, and we had plenty of water to grow our food.
And they use the meat for seasoning more than
Well,
for consumption. Like I grew up where, we shut those purple hull peas, and so they would have like meat in it for seasoning. But that was it. We didn't have like hunks of this and like you said. As we had chicken, and I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. Let me put that out.
Okay.
So yes, I had ham, I had chicken. We might have had rabbit. We had beef. but our sides were plentiful. They made up the majority of our plate. I shouldn't say their meat did. Let me be honest that way. So we would have black-eyed peas, we have greens or cabbage, rice, and then bread, make cornbread every day or homemade biscuits. And you got a piece of meat, like a piece, literally. But your sides made up your plate. Now the meat makes up our plate, and then we have a scoop of sides, and that's it, maybe one. So we definitely have to change how we have to retrain what we're doing. That's crazy. I'm like imagining, remembering how our plates look. You know.
So what was the second question?
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I answer. I want to make sure I answer the sister's question the correct way. What I want you to do, sister, I want you to go to any Trader Joe's, any Earth Fare, any Whole Foods, and I want you to look for something called coconut aminos. It's a bottle about this big, and I want you to take that. And I want you to put that on your vegetables when you steam them, when you cook them, or do whatever. It's gonna make your vegetables taste like voila. And you know, getting that seasoning on your vegetables, you'll be like, okay, it's more easy than what I think, because in people's minds, like, okay, what do I eat? What do I eat? But there's millions of fruits and vegetables that you can eat, but it's a way that you want to, of course, season them and things like that so they taste good for you. So don't forget coconut aminos, and let your transition be what it is. Don't get so caught up into the fact that, oh, I'm not getting this or I'm not getting that. You're getting what you need. You're just going to have to be able to train your mind and your body back to the original way we used to eat. I hope I answered your question good enough.
That was very good. Yeah, I think she got that one. That was real good. Okay, so we got two more. Looks like Terry just asked two questions in regards to. Okay, so the first one she has is, why don't vegans eat unfertilized eggs?
Well, first off, an egg is a baby embryo. It's a dead baby that came from a mother. So the first reason why a vegan would not eat that is because it's a dead baby. So it's like taking your egg that you go through a menstrual cycle with that comes out of you, and you asking somebody to eat it. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not being hardcore. I'm just telling you that you have to realize that's not an egg. That's a dead embryo. It's a dead embryo. It's a dead life. It's a dead baby, or whatever baby you want to call it. So that's the main reason why vegans would not eat that.
Ooh, that's deep. Okay.
You know what, Morathi? I'm going to tell you right now, okay? Sure. Poor little baby chickens, I'm so sorry.
It's like when you watch an anime, coming out,
had a couple of them bad boys this morning. Oh, okay.
Okay, so Terry, that's the answer to the first question. Okay, so now here's the second question, bro. Shouts out to Dina Renee. Thank you for joining us at the round table. Ms. Steele, thank you for joining us at the round table. Mahogany Tabiti, thank you for joining us at the round table.
Peace to you.
Yeah. Okay, so Terry just asked, what do you say to people who are medically the prime example of perfect health, who eat seafood or lean meats?
I would say this. If you feel like your colon can take that, I would beg to differ. Eating any lean meat or eating any animal, it builds up cholesterol in the body. Cholesterol, the only way you can get cholesterol in the body is through dead animals. And as one continues to eat it, their blood vessels will go from here, which blood is flowing freely, to there, to there, to there, to there, to there. It's only a matter of time. And once that cholesterol builds up in your system, it causes what? For you to attack your heart. Not a heart attack. You attack your own heart. If it goes up to the left side, it causes a stroke. If it goes down to the penis, it causes a man to be impotent. So I sincerely myself think and understand that anybody who eats, now she asked a question, she said someone who eats lean meat or they eat seafood. is that all they're eating. Because if that's all they're eating, there's no way possible they can be healthy. They are also eating fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. You get me?
Gotcha.
If we compare the two lifestyles, I'm telling somebody that I can sustain my life eating fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, and beans. I would challenge anybody to eliminate that and just eat dead animals and see how long you survive. What people take out, they want to say, okay, well, all right, what do you say of somebody that's eating lean meat and seafood? That's not all they're eating. They're getting something out that earth. The earth is the most important thing that you can ever go and get something from. You get me? Gotcha. Nobody in their right mind, unless they're a fool, that's going to eat nothing but dead animals, dead carcasses. I'm just being honest.
And they're limiting probably that meat that they're taking in, you know, as well. So a lot of people my cousin's doing the keto diet right now. They're eating meat, they eat meat and have protein, but they don't have any carbs. So I think, Terry, when you have people who are doing that, you have to look at what their actual diet is, because everyone has a medley of what they're doing. So you have people who are eating seafood and lean meats, but they're not taking a lot of carbs. They're doubled on their greens and their fruits. So it's kind of like to me, I feel like the keto diet, it helps you, that might be a transition like thing, but you start lessening your meat, keep increasing your greens, your grains, and that might help you go all the way vegan. Because you do still get that meat, but you still have like a certain ounce that you can eat. So you have to make sure that you are watching the intake, but I bet you they're exercising.
That's right.
They're drinking certain, I watch my cousin. She has this water, she has this like this nutrient she puts in her water when she's drinking. So there's all these other things that they're adding to their body in their diets. So when you're looking at them, they're like, oh, well, I'm not vegan. Yeah, but look at everything that you're doing vegan right.
Exactly. You have to look at what everything else that they're doing is coming out the earth.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you have to take that into consideration, Queen, when you speak about that.
Good point. Go ahead, bro. I got people coming in. You go ahead first, though.
Okay, good. So you said that you've been in this life for about 21 years, roughly.
Yeah.
So what were some of the, it may not even have been immediate, what were some of the benefits that you saw right off?
Well, first off, I used to have bad allergies. My allergies used to be very, very bad. You know, they talk about nosebleeds, mucus all over the place. You know, it was bad.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that my allergies were happening because of dairy products. You know, I was an athlete in high school. I was a starting quarterback and a starting point guard. So during football season, I used to drink a lot of milk and I used to eat a lot of peanuts and stuff like that. And I used to be like, man, why am I waking up and nosebleeds, you know, mucus all in my eyes and stuff like that. And I didn't realize it until I read a book called Milk the Deadly Poison by, I want to say David Cohen. It was a book I actually posted on my Facebook page, and it started breaking down what milk does to the body. It's called cow's milk for a reason. It's for cows. It's not for humans. And so after I eliminated that out, I was like, whoa, okay, I'm seeing a difference. Because I didn't have bad eczema, but in my family, on my dad's side, eczema can run pretty bad. So I used to get patches every now and again all over. And then whenever I eliminated those things in animals, I noticed those patches cleared up. You get where I'm coming from? I noticed that nagging injuries that used to cause me a lot of problems because of the hospital, I wasn't having those injuries anymore. You know what I mean? Or those nagging problems anymore. My temperament calmed down tremendously. You get me? My thought pattern and how I looked at life was more level-headed. I always say this: the more natural you eat, the more natural you will behave. Within our communities right now, and I am here to say this bar none without a fact, if you replace our convenience stores with gardens, we would be a lot less violent. Our kids would think a lot more clearly. they would not be having ADHD problems. If we eliminate Fruit Loops and all this sugars and all this artificial flavors and all this type of stuff, we will get some very calm, intelligent children. Our children are already very intelligent. But because of what is being put into their system from people, from everyone, people just don't know. They grew up on this type of stuff. We are hindering their thought process. Our children go into the school system and they can't sit down and they can't behave the correct way. Not because, well, first of all, the education, they're too smart for the education. Also, they got so much white sugar and artificial flavors in them, they can't sit down and be still.
Let's not leave out what they get in school.
That's right.
In the school lunches.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You're loading your children up with all these sugars, these artificial flavors and stuff like that, and they know what's going on. So next thing they do is they tell you that your kid is not sitting down, he can't think right, so let's put your kid on a drug.
Yep.
You get where I'm coming from?
Keep them sedated, suppressed.
Keep them sedated, suppressed. So yeah, that aspect of going back into the earth and eliminating certain things out of our system will allow us to be able to function the correct way.
I'm gonna tell any parent out there that let their children eat school lunches, and your children seem to have gotten round. Take them off of the school lunch for 30 days.
That's right.
Our daughters, at the time when they were in elementary, they got round. And you know, like you said, you learn, oh, you're tired. Oh, that's their baby weight. Oh, they'll slim out once, they get into middle school or once they become missies, And we took them to the pediatrician, and she was like, okay, they both were pushing a 20-pound gain from the previous year. And she said, are they eating school lunch? I said, yeah, okay, occasionally. She said, no, this is more than occasionally. And said, okay. I said, well, they probably are. They eating it because it got convenient. And she said, told me, told my husband, no school lunch for 30 days. My daughter's dropped 20 pounds in a month from not consuming all of those preservatives and hormones that they're pumping into that food. That food is frozen and it is shipped out. That is not fresh food given and delivered to schools every day. How often do you see a truck at a school? Think about it. How often do you see a delivery truck at a school?
Little to none.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were like, no more school lunch. And so it just took a little time. And as they got older, I didn't have to make their lunches. And they were able to do that. So, gaining knowledge, definitely telling parents, not just have guinea pigs on your kids, but just do that with your children. I promise you, you'll see, okay, this man is not lying. If they'll do that for them, imagine once you stop putting that in your body, imagine what will happen.
I want to make something clear to the parents, especially the single Black mothers. What we're talking about right now, getting this health thing right for our families and for our children, this falls on the single Black mothers. Okay, it falls more on the wives than anybody else. I'm gonna tell you why. Within our culture, the women were always the first teachers, the doctors, and the dietitians to the family.
Right.
So they did the research and had the understanding of what was needed to feed the kids or the family to be able to keep the family sustained. You get me? Remember, there used to be something in high school called home economics.
That's right.
What's that now?
It's not home economics. It's not there anymore. Now, I'm not saying that men couldn't take this class, but it was mostly females that took this class because there was always something where it was what they have taken away from us as a community is that it is a job being a mother. It's a job the house is a job, a queendom.
Yep.
It's a queendom. They have made it now look out to be like, oh, well, she can't be this way. I'm not saying that a woman can't be independent, go out here and make a way and this, that, and the third. But in our communities, most of the Black men are locked up, dead, or whatever else you want to come up with. So it's only the Black woman who can be able to make these changes, to be able to enforce these changes into our children to break the cycle. What I mean by breaking the cycle, sisters, my mother used to tell me, you will eat it before it eats you.
That's right.
It has to be that. It has to be that hardcore. Once you find out how this lifestyle is going to affect you to make a better change within your families, the only way we're going to break the traditions is by putting the right foods there and enforcing it.
That's it.
So check this out. Teresa Copeland just chimed in. She said there were field peas, lima beans, sweet peas.
Yeah,
you will have that at least 3 times a week.
Yes, ma'am.
Collard greens, poke salad.
Yeah,
we call them peas, limas.
Yeah, we used to go big.
You might have corn. I don't leave out turnip greens and rutabagas. That's what you call good eating and cook when they serve now. And you're right. That's why I call you have diabetes, obesity. But if they learn how to grow their own vegetables, I think that's a takeaway of so much of this obesity that's happening in our culture. She says, I can teach my 1-year-old, my 2-year-old granddaughters how to sing Jesus Love Me, but you bet they're helping grandmother in her vegetable garden too.
That's true. I think we as a people have received the privilege to move on up and do better. And it's still a setup because we had peas 3 times a week because guess what? You had to wait until that was gone because you didn't have the luxury of going into the pantry or going out into the big freezer or going out into the little freezer or eating cereal because you didn't want to eat what was for dinner. You had to eat what was for dinner. That woman provided that food for her family. And as being a mother and being a wife, I'm charged to make sure that my family has nutrition, that make sure that they are fed, make sure they are fed well, and that this is what it is. You don't have an option to go and do this. So as we've been able to be educated and get into a different tax bracket, you know, you're losing your way on what you're eating. So now you have all of these box meals coming in the house. You got all of these frozen meals coming in the house. You got all this fast food coming in the house because you've arrived and you're killing yourself faster than if you wasn't. So I'd rather live long and live moderate than, as they say, high off the hog and die faster. That's it.
I want to piggyback off what you're saying. That aspect of making what is needed for the family. You also have a whole another aspect where our women are the spiritual mediums. And what I mean by the spiritual mediums is that they always knew or had an intuition for what was needed. Our grandmothers and our grandfathers, you remember your aunt or your grandmother always saying, hey, now I see that coming now. Now you need to do this, we have to go back. Our black women have an intuition to let you know, hey, look, we need to make this change. If our males have to start paying attention to that, they have to start seeing that. The husbands, the boyfriend, if the wife is coming and saying, hey, we need to make this change, you got to start hearing what she's saying because she knows what she's talking about. I want to add that.
Good point. Thank you. And Tonya Evans, thank you for joining us tonight at the Roundtable, where we have Mr. Vegan Love Culture himself, Morathi Howie, who's educating us. I mean, this is his ministry. He's definitely showing us different methods to the madness, so to speak, when it comes to our health. Pratina just said thank you for that knowledge. She appreciates that.
You're very welcome.
Definitely, definitely. So, okay, so here's an interesting question. Because Morathi, you kind of mentioned it at our event that happened a couple of weeks back in regards to how, and I think you kind of illuminated on it briefly here, in regards to how this vegan lifestyle culture that you're doing has really helped you in a man sort of way.
Okay. So I'm gonna just sit back and I won't sit back across my ankles.
I was thoroughly impressed though when you said that, because I mean that's something in which I think we as a culture, especially brothers, we have a tendency in which we don't go to the doctor and we don't want to talk about the things that are keeping us from fulfilling our desires in a positive way, right, especially with our mates.
Right. So
thank you for mentioning that. But I think you need to talk about that as well, because man, when he said that, I just turned around, looked at my wife, and I said, "That's what I'm talking about." But that's serious. That's serious as far as what you're saying about how you live this life daily. because you sharing that with us. You didn't have to, but you did. And I definitely want you, share that with our people because, when I said that, Charlie Toombs popped on. That is ironic. Shouts out to Charlie Toombs. Charlie. Now,
look. So, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm staying in my place at the table with the men. However, it is 6:52. So, Mr. Morathi, dealing with and talking about our kings maintaining their manhood and their healthy sexual life.
Yeah.
Are there particular greens that they can start to implement? And of course, not as a quick fix, but I'm just saying to implement into their diets, starting to pursue being and having more earth-based, plant-based dietary.
Okay. And share that definitely, because Charlie too deals with that area when it comes to, for all intents and purposes, like sex, and she's an educator about it, as well as she deals with, different things. And I think it's so ironic that I said that, and she popped on.
That means it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's meant to be. So go ahead and share, brother, so she can take that back to her people as well. We're educating people now. That's what we do.
Okay. Well, first off, this is strictly for the men.
Okay.
First of all, I say this all the time jokingly. My lifestyle is my Viagra. Once you realize and understand that the very earth that you walk on is your life force, and once you connect to that, everything else wakes up. I mentioned that putting the wrong foods within this soul. In Hebrew, soul and the human organs are synonymous. Okay, so it becomes a whole different definition when you hear that soul and the human organs are synonymous, because it said you can't see your soul. You cannot look inside of your body and see your human organs. And so when that soul gets clogged up, the part of the soul is the penis. It is a blood vessel. The blood has to travel over 300, I forgot how many miles, that it has to travel all the way throughout the body. If there's no blood flowing to your penis, it is not getting up. Point blank period.
Okay.
Why does the penis not get up? Because men are clogging their bodies up with dead animals, sugars, artificial flavorings, and not getting up to do nothing with their life. They're growing these tummies that are so big to the point where they can't even satisfy their mates. And I want to be honest. I want to be honest while I'm on here, brothers. If your wife or your girl will be honest with you, if you cannot conquer her in the bed, there's a part of her that she does not respect about you. I'm just being real about it.
And as a queen, I will second that.
I'm not being
hashtag facts.
Right.
No.
That is true.
I'm not being funny. I'm not being anything, because she's satisfying you. We can come very easily. But what are you doing to satisfy her if you're not keeping yourself, or you keep your manhood in place? Now, you're being taught that if you don't eat meat, that you're not going to be a man. But that very meat that you're eating is taking away your manhood.
There you go.
So what we have to understand and know is that when you go back into the earth, where your life force is, it's going to bring life to your penis. I don't have a problem in that area. And I don't have a problem not only because of that, but because I get up and I work out. I'm going to drink me some beer every once in a while. I'm going to drink me some wine. But guess what? You see me on the treadmill.
Just show do.
You see what I do? I'm going to get that out of my system. I'm not going to let that sit on me. And I eat from the life force in which I came from. Once you do that, you're okay. So to answer your question, any part of that earth that you're going to get it from, especially the watermelon, especially the avocado, especially the cucumber, especially the papaya, especially the, I'm missing something, the apple, the strawberry. I can keep naming things that can continue to bring that life force back down there, right? What we have to get out of is thinking that, oh, I'm not a man because I don't eat meat. That is a total lie. You are not a man because you're eating too much meat, and it's taking away your life force down there by your penis. So I hope I answered that question in the best way I can.
So, ladies, I hope you had that list so you can buy your man some avocados, some papaya, strawberries, apples, watermelon, seeded. What is going on? Sidebar. I grew up, I grew up, as I said earlier, we didn't eat watermelon before June, and we didn't eat it after August. And we ate watermelons with seeds. Every time I go to the store, they're all seedless. What is that?
That's crazy.
Well, you have to. There's a certain place where you get it from. In Kannapolis, I'm actually doing a watermelon challenge right now. That's going to end on the 17th, where I told people, hey, eat as many watermelons as you can, and make sure it can be seeded watermelon if you can make it that. But in Kannapolis, I want y'all to listen. Fresh Farmers Market in Kannapolis, Fresh Farms Market, Kannapolis, North Carolina. They keep seeded watermelons.
Okay.
That's where I get all mine from. They go and get it from Florida and South Carolina. South Carolina, Page, South Carolina has a watermelon festival. If you go around long enough, you're gonna run into those brothers or whoever, even whoever elders out there selling seeded watermelons on the corner. You got to go and look for those things. You're not gonna be able to find them.
Yeah, they're not in the store.
Yeah, they're not in the store. They're not in the store.
And the ones that are in the store, just heads up, I tried to be kind of romantic because I had listened to my brother over here about the seeded watermelon stuff. Tried to go to the food line and get a seeded watermelon. And that thing, when I cut it open, was rotten on the inside. You know, somebody was hot. Rolled all the way back up there with 2 bags full of chopped up rotten watermelon and gave it to him and said, this does not make sense. Right. Your seedless watermelon is nice and bristly and crisp, but your seeded watermelon is messed up.
Right.
Threw me off. I totally messed me up. My Mother's Day breakfast was killing me. Charlie Tools just wanted to chime in with you, bro. I knew this was going to happen. She said the dietary intake is very important in libido. Muscle memory is key.
That's right.
She said, don't forget citrus fruits and that pineapple. So she's with you on it. Well, I knew the two of them get together. You got to come to Charlotte. You got to come to Charlotte.
You're right, Queen.
But you're right. That is something else. And I'm putting, what's going on in Chicano, Baltimore? Oh, man, everybody's coming on. Ain't this how it normally happens? Towards the end. Okay, so Fresh Farmers Market in Kannapolis, North Carolina.
That's right.
Okay, get that seeded watermelon.
Aldi's got pretty good ones as well.
Aldi's as well? Oh, you tell them about Aldi's as well. Man, this thing is crazy. And people are chiming in. What's going on, Chris Digsby? Oh, my goodness, my cousin chimed in.
What's up,
man, what's up, man? Okay, so they just chimed in. She said, hello, how you doing? Peace out, Baltimore. Closing, man, because I mean, shoot, we should have went for 2 hours on this one right here.
There you go. Thank you. We will have Morathi back on for a part 2 show. Absolutely.
Man, that's what's up. What would you like to close out with them, Morathi? Oh, matter of fact, you got to close out in regards to the upcoming event. You got to tell the masses about that. We would be remiss not to talk about it because this is an opportunity in which you've been working on this for a while. And it actually brings all of those elements together in a special way. So tell them about that before we close out, man.
Okay. First, I want to speak about the first event that I have coming up at the McCory Y off of Betty's Fort Road. It is 3801 McCory YMCA from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. This is a free event featuring traditional healing, wellness methods, which our ancestors and what we use to maintain our body. So you can come out to that. That's this Saturday coming up at 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then I have the Soul Food, the first annual NC Soul Food Vegan Fest, where we will have the Oprah of veganism, Tabitha Brown. If you don't know who Tabitha Brown is, she's from North Carolina. She's out in California. Look her up, Tabitha Brown. She will be in town the first time coming to North Carolina for a Vegan Fest event. This will be at the 1030 Woodward Road at the Heist Brewery, right off of Graham Street in Charlotte. It's going to be from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. where me, Big Sis, and Lil Bro, Morathi Howie and Latisse Howie will be co-hosting this event. It's going to be a dope event. We're going to have Ayana Gregory there, Dick Gregory's daughter. You're talking about the extension of who Dick Gregory is. She's going to be out there. She's a singer, motivator. She's going to speak about the life that Dick Gregory lived. You're going to love it. It's going to be a family reunion. Double Dutch, tonk, spades, dominoes, greens cook-off. It's going to be a family reunion event. Come out. It's going to be beautiful. That's going to be on the 26th of May. That is the weekend of Memorial Day weekend on a Sunday. So that's going to be a dope event. Let me be honest with you. I think it's already sold out, but come.
That's always a good thing.
Always a good thing. Yeah, and I definitely want to say every time I want to be in the building so we can definitely
100%.
see everybody how they're going to
and not sold out. You had to register, so it was free.
Yes,
right. But come, man, and get the feeling, man. It's gonna be beautiful. We're gonna have a kids corner, hopscotch, all that stuff's gonna be going on.
And how can they follow you also, Rob?
You can follow me on Facebook. My fan page is Morathi Howie, which is also my my regular Facebook page, but also on Instagram, Morathi, Morathi Howie. Go to my YouTube page, which is Vegan Love Culture. Just put in Vegan Love Culture, as in many cultures. I think y'all see it right there.
Yes.
I have a interview with Dr. Lamar Price. Dr. Lamar Price is Tiffany Haddish's, if I'm saying her name right. Her holistic doctor, celebrity entertainer. If you watch Atlanta Housewives, if anybody watched Atlanta Housewives, you know that her husband caught cancer.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
She went to all the celebrities and said, who do I need to bring in holistically to do this? And it was Dr. Lamar Price. Okay. So he came in and put his cancer into remission. I have an interview with him that I did right there. And we spelled out vegan love culture right there. And it's over 3.4 thousand views. Very informative. It's three parts. Check it out.
Okay.
That's what's up. Tiffany Pettymon, thank you for joining us at the Roundtable. She said, okay, she definitely want to come and attend the Vegan Soul Fest. That's going to be dope. Well, family, we are. Yeah, please go ahead.
I just want to do one more thing. I want to give you guys my website.
Okay.
My superfoods that I bring these in strictly from Africa, which reverse problems, ailments in the body. You know a lot about them.
Yep.
Moringa, baobab, butterfly PT is strictly for the female reproductive system. Gets rid of cysts, fibroids, excessive bleeding, cramping, bloating, hormonal imbalances, diabetes. I bring in soursop, which fights off cancer cells, keeping your good cells. If you go to www.veganloveculture.com, you'll see all the superfoods that I bring in. I bring in an herb strictly for men called strongman herb. Builds up the prostate, blood circulation, and you will turn in. You'll be T'Challa, you'll turn into Black Panther overnight.
And I will say that, Wakanda forever.
Yes. All right, so check this out. Just we gotta close out. People still coming in, they chiming in. We love it, man. That means y'all really showing us love. So Terry just said to us, "Can you guys get the At the Round Table mugs for the table? That way you'll be appreciated."
Terry, PBID, gotcha. It's done.
Yeah. And just for that, we'll get you one as well.
That's right.
And one quick shout out. Over the last week and a half, the likes and the follows, they've been coming in, they've been flowing in. So we want to give you all thanks for the likes, the follows, the shares. Please continue to like and follow and share. Let everybody know. Like you said, tell your
mom and them,
daddy
and them, and cousin them. We love all them. This is the People's Podcast, right?
That's right.
That's Roundtable. Shouts out to Tangi. Oh man, she just chimed in.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Before we close out, I don't know when we close out, but I want to just send this message out to our people. I have a saying that says, "Good health is true wealth." We have all the materialistic things in the world. We have the biggest spending budget in America. We have all the cars, clothes, nice hairdos, nice haircuts, shoes, and everything. We treat the external parts of our bodies very, very delicately. We make sure that it's okay. But when it comes to the internal part, the soul, we treat that like it's nothing. So therefore, if someone says that, hey, let's go get this healthy food, oh, that's too much. But that bag, that Prada bag ain't too much. or that Mercedes Benz that you want is not too much. I love nice things. We are kings and queens. We deserve nice things. I love my body 10 times more. So I'm going to make sure.
Ouch, Morathi, ouch.
I'm going to make sure that my body is in order. So I'm here long enough to enjoy those things. I'm building an empire. I want to be here long enough to be able to enjoy it. And we are all building empires. Just be here long enough to enjoy it.
So I'm going to tell you, okay, the baby chicken eggs and me going shopping, you know, you didn't have to step on my toes that hard on this show. But I'm going to wear my combo at my Timbs when you come on that part too, so you don't step on my toes. Okay.
Okay, so shout out to Shaward Moore for joining us.
Peace to you.
Yeah, definitely. And Charlie Tube said, hey, if you don't promote us, we won't get anywhere.
That's it.
And on that note, we got to thank y'all for joining us here at the Roundtable Against the People's Podcast with Morathi, Howie,
Adrian Biddle,
Melissa,
aka the People in the Dress. See y'all.
Peace.
Love you. Peace.
Love y'all.